What happens when a monster tries to learn empathy? If you are a Dark Lord of the Sith, it doesn't lead to redemption. It leads to the most devastating psychological collapse in galactic history. We are told that the dark side and the light side are just two ends of a spiritual spectrum, and that true power lies in balance. But the terrifying story of Darth Gravid proves that trying to hold both ideologies at once doesn't make you enlightened. It tears your mind apart. The core illusion of the Force is that you can cherry-pick its philosophies without paying the psychological toll. Around 533 BBY, the Sith Order was executing a meticulous, multi-generational plan for galactic dominance. Darth Gravid, the reigning Dark Lord, looked at this grand plan and saw a fatal flaw. He believed that the Sith's absolute, unwavering commitment to the dark side, their complete rejection of compassion and selflessness, would eventually consume them. So Gravid proposed a unifying path. He attempted to merge Jedi philosophies into Sith teachings, hoping that introducing empathy and selflessness could save the Order from its own inherently self-destructive nature. He wasn't turning away from the Sith. He was trying to engineer a superior hybrid ideology. But the mechanism of the Force does not allow for a casual compromise. To wield the dark side requires drawing on raw, unbridled passion, selfishness, and domination. To wield the light requires absolute surrender and selflessness. When Gravid tried to force these diametrically opposed ideologies into a single mind, it didn't create a perfect middle ground. It induced a violent, inescapable madness. His brain simply could not process the paradox. Driven insane by the contradiction, Gravid concluded that the only way to truly save the Sith was to burn it all down and start over. Gravid barricaded himself in his bastion on the planet Jaguada and began systematically destroying centuries of irreplaceable Sith holocrons, texts, and artifacts. The ancient knowledge of essence transfer, the ability to move one's consciousness into a new host to cheat death, was permanently lost to the flames. It was a purge that set the Sith Grand Plan back by hundreds of years. His apprentice, a Twi'lek named Darth Gravid, had to physically break through his Force barriers to stop the destruction. Even as Gravid severely mutilated her, cleaving off her arm in the struggle, she managed to kill him with her bare hands to save what little lore was left. The horror of Darth Gravid isn't that he was evil, or even that he became good. It's the realization that some systems are so fundamentally incompatible that introducing a positive element into them acts as a fatal virus. The human mind cannot simultaneously demand absolute control and practice absolute surrender without fracturing entirely. Gravid's fate is a warning about the architecture of ideology. He didn't find the middle path. He found a paradox his mind couldn't survive. Attempting to merge the light and the dark isn't balance. It is cognitive annihilation.